Today we're recreating a style that I love. We're gonna think it through, figure out how to do it, and then apply it in Photoshop. So I stumbled upon this photo. I thought, this is amazing. We have a gradient in the background, our subject is in the foreground, they're blurred, and we have really interesting colors flowing throughout. And I thought, you know what, we could do this with any photograph of any subject. So let's go ahead and think it through and figure out how we're gonna do it. First thing we need to do is find an image with a subject. So we have that. Here in our layers panel, I have my background image, picture of a subject, easy. Next thing I want to do is extend the crop. I want a horizontal crop. Let's hit C for the crop tool. Our fill is going to be transparent, and we're just going to click here, hold Alt or Option, and drag that out and hit Enter. Fantastic. We have a wider crop. Now, the next thing I want to do is cut out my subject from the background because we have an interesting gradient in our background, and this is just a regular picture of a subject. Now, he is in silhouette, but you could do this with literally any subject, any photo you have. But let's go ahead and select our subject and cut him out. Super easy to do. On our background layer, we're going to use our Move tool. Let's hit Select Subject. Super simple to do. It's going to find the subject in our image. You can see it's selected my background image. And I'm going to go ahead and create a new layer. Super easy. And let's go ahead and fill that with black. Fantastic. Deselect and you're done. So now we have our subject on a new layer. I can make that background invisible. How do we get this gradient in the background? Well, you might be tempted at this point to go ahead and create a colorful gradient, and you can do that, but we're thinking this through, and I'm looking at my original reference photo and I'm seeing, okay, we've got black for our subject that's transitioning into orange, it's transitioning into yellow, and then we've got some blue up here. And that looks really similar to what's going on in our background, where we've got almost black here, transitioning to orange, transitioning to yellow, and then to this bluish purple. So I'm thinking we've got to figure out a way to map color to light ranges in our image. And that's where a gradient map comes in Photoshop. So let's go ahead and figure out what we're going to do with our background. We're going to use our regular gradient for that, and then pull in our gradient map. All right, so zooming out to our image, let's go ahead and grab our gradient tool. I'm going to hit G for the gradient. Now with our gradient tool, because I'm going to color this at the very end with a gradient map, all I need to do is choose a gradient. We're going to go ahead and make sure we choose our basics, foreground to transparent, black to white looks great. And then we're going to choose a radial gradient. And I'm just going to click and drag out just like that. Let's go ahead and grab this and place it below our subject, and that looks really good. Now you can move this at any time. Don't be too concerned about if it's in the right place. You can scale it, you can change your type of gradient, but this honestly looks really good. Now we're still in this place where our subject is still. They don't have this interesting motion applied to them, and for that we want to apply a blur. One of my favorite blurs is called the path blur. It allows you to choose the shape of the blur, and it's incredibly powerful. First thing we need to do is use a smart object. So let's go to our layer with our subject, okay? We're gonna go to Filter, we're gonna go down to Convert for a smart filter, which makes it a smart object. Next, let's go to Filter, and we're gonna go to our Blur Gallery, and my favorite, Path Blur. Okay, now with our Path Blur, it's nice that I can actually see my other image here. We have our basic blur with the path blur. I can choose my speed here, which is nice. But then this is my all-time favorite, where we have taper. Let's go ahead and bring in some of that taper, and then look at this interesting effect that it gives us. With our taper brought up, let's go ahead and bring up our speed as well. And I also like to uncheck center blurred. If you have the center blur, it's going to blur in both directions. You can see it's blurring out that way, it's blurring out that way. We don't have any clarity. If I uncheck centered blur, all of a sudden, look at this, it's just blurring out in this direction. It looks much cooler. And with the taper, you can see as I lower down my taper, we have more of a blur. As I increase my taper, it just kind of fades off. And this is how we get these interesting effects. I absolutely love it. Now, here's the cool thing. I have my control points. I can click on any of these control points and move them at any point in time, okay? And remember earlier we made a smart object, which means I can actually come back and change these settings at any time. I can also grab my center point and click and drag that, and then we have a movement to our blur. I like that. We're gonna come down a little bit, and you know what? I'm just gonna keep it nice and subtle. That looks really, really cool. So we've done a lot of the interesting movement that we have with our original image to our subject, and I think we're good. Let's go ahead and hit OK. All right, this takes a second to load. We're gonna show you what it looks like when it's done. So here's our subject with the blur gallery. You can see I can just turn this off and on at any time. If I want to change the blur, simply double click right there on the blur gallery. Now we have our reference and you're like, well, that doesn't exactly look like our reference, kind of, but mostly it's just in black and white. Now it's time to add some color with a gradient map. And this is incredibly cool because you can change the colors at any time. To get to your gradient map, we're gonna make sure we go to our adjustment window. Go to window and then down to adjustments if you don't see it. Right on. We're gonna go here to a gradient map. Now, as soon as I click on the gradient map, you're gonna see some changes, but really with this gradient map, you wanna make sure you click on your actual gradient so you get to your gradient editor. Let's go ahead and move this up. Now the gradient editor is incredibly powerful. I'm gonna zoom out by hitting Control-, which you can do even if this screen is up there. This gradient editor is really powerful because you have a lot of gradients that are built in to your gradient editor. Look at these. As I go through them, you're already starting to get the idea of this effect. And this is applying over top of your entire image. So let's go ahead and choose that gradient. I'm gonna hit OK, and we're gonna talk about what this is actually doing. All right, so we have our layers. I'm gonna turn off my reference because honestly, we're really close to what we have already. What the gradient map does is it's going to map your lighter colors, okay, and your darker colors to the gradient that you've chosen. In this case, our lighter colors are being mapped to the right-hand side, which is this blue, and our darker colors are being mapped to the left-hand side, which is this yellow. Now, if you want the opposite, in this case, that's what we do want, we're gonna click here on reverse, and just like that, you have a reversal of your gradient map. Now, because we have this gradient map, I can turn this off or on at any time. You can see it's completely recolored my entire image, giving me something very, very interesting. But here is the more powerful version because remember, we just created a gradient underneath our subject. If I go back to this gradient layer and hit G for the gradient, I can then change and move this. Look at this. I can change and put this wherever I want. And keep in mind, my original image is just black and white. I have a black to white gradient here and a black subject over top. But because I'm using a gradient map, now it's mapping light to dark values along a gradient. And we're able to get these incredible effects with a simple gradient map. The coolest thing here too, let's double click on that gradient map and go to our gradient here. I can change my gradient at any time. If I click on any one of these colors, let's go to the color picker here. I could change this color. We can make it more teal. We can make it more blue. Anything that I do here, let's hit OK, will instantly update the gradient. Not only that, but I can just choose any other gradient that's in my gradient map. Any one of these gradients I can choose to use, and I'm gonna get an image that represents the original photographs, instead colorized by those gradients. And you can see just how powerful they actually are. I love these gradients. This image is incredibly cool. I feel like we've done a great job capturing the essence of that original photo. Now, if you want some black in there, easy. Double click on that gradient map. Let's go to our properties window, click on your gradient. I'm gonna just slide this over a little bit, okay? We're gonna slide that over a little bit. I'm gonna click on a new point and then we're just gonna go here and make it even darker. So my subject now, we have a dark subject that's really standing out, and I can simply move these values to decide how they're going to interact with my subject. And look at that. Absolutely incredible, beautiful photograph done completely manually in Photoshop. And again, at any point in time, I can turn this blur off or on for my subject, and I can double click on my blur gallery to completely redo this blur. Now you can use this process for any subject. Simply cut them out of the background, add that blur filter, and then choose the gradient map that works best for you. Best of yet, download this PSD totally free. Just click on the link right down below and you can use it on any one of your photos. So the next time you see an image that you love, it's a great exercise to try to figure out how to reverse engineer it, recreate it in post-production, just like we've done today.